So today, we're diving into something called ProvaDent. It's got a pretty different take on oral health. You know, instead of just focusing on the brushing and flossing we all do, it's all about trying to rebalance the entire ecosystem inside your mouth. Let's break down what that actually means.
I mean, we all know the drill, right? You brush twice a day, you floss, you try to follow all the rules. But what happens when you're still dealing with things like sensitive gums or bad breath? It's super frustrating, and it really makes you wonder, is what we're doing even enough?
And that's exactly where ProvaDent comes in. The whole idea here is that maybe the answer isn't just about scrubbing the surface clean, but about supporting your mouth's whole environment from the inside out. It's a pretty interesting angle. So, what makes this approach so different? Well, ProvaDent isn't trying to replace your toothbrush. Think of it more like a powerful sidekick for your routine, one that targets the root cause of a lot of common oral health issues. First thing you'll notice, it's not a toothpaste or a mouthwash. Nope, it's a chewable tablet. And that's on purpose. The format is designed to deliver its ingredients in a totally different way so they can get to work balancing that complex little world inside your mouth. This quote really sums up the whole philosophy. The goal isn't just a quick fix for fresh breath that wears off in an hour. It's about building a stronger, healthier foundation for the long run. And it's worth noting who's behind this formula. Dr. Knudsen, who's a board-certified dentist. That definitely adds some weight to it, right? It suggests this is coming from a scientific, holistic perspective that looks way beyond just the symptoms. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. What's actually inside these tablets? Because, any supplement is only as good as its ingredients. Let's take a look. So, the formula is a blend of natural ingredients. You've got stuff like organic xylitol for freshness and cranberry extract, which is great for gum support. But the real star of the show, the engine behind this whole thing, is 4 special strains of probiotics. These are designed to help repopulate your mouth with good bacteria. So why are probiotics such a big deal here? Well, it all comes down to something called the oral microbiome. Just think of it like a tiny city of good and bad bacteria living in your mouth. When the bad guys start to outnumber the good guys, that's when you get problems like plaque, bad breath, and gum issues. The goal is to keep everything in balance. So that brings us to the big question. How does adding good bacteria actually lead to a healthier mouth? How does it all work? It's actually a pretty simple chain reaction. First, you introduce more of the good bacteria to help rebalance that microbiome. By doing that, you're essentially crowding out the bad bacteria. There's just less room for them to thrive. And that leads to all the things you actually want. Less plaque buildup, which means healthier gums, and fresher breath. Now, here's a really important point. This isn't some kind of overnight magic pill. ProvaDent is all about consistent, long-term support. It's a daily tool to help you maintain that crucial balance in your mouth over time. Okay, what about safety? The formula is all natural and plant-based, and there are no reported side effects. The recommendation is to take 2 tablets every day. And of course, like with any supplement, if you have specific health conditions or are pregnant, it's always a good idea to check with your doctor first. All right, let's talk about the practical stuff. What's this going to cost you, and is there a guarantee? So there are a few different options. You can grab 1 bottle for $69, but they really encourage you to stick with it, so they offer bigger discounts if you buy 3 or 6 bottles at a time. The price can drop to as low as $49 a bottle, and you get free shipping with those bigger packages. But here's probably the most important number you need to see. 60. That's 60 days. You get a 2-month money-back guarantee. That gives you plenty of time to try it out and see if it works for you. If you're not happy with the results, you can ask for a refund. It's basically a risk-free way to give it a shot. So after all that, let's bring it all together. What's the final verdict on ProvaDent? When you boil it all down, ProvaDent isn't about masking symptoms. It's designed to go after what it sees as the root cause of a lot of our dental problems, that bacterial imbalance in our mouths. And this quote really nails who this is probably for. If you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but you still feel like something's not quite right, well, this is positioned as that potential missing piece of the puzzle. Which leaves us with this final question. ProvaDent's whole approach represents a pretty big shift in thinking, from just reacting to problems with cleaning to proactively supporting your oral health from the inside. So the question really is, could this be that missing piece in your routine?